Hello friend, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Anna Real, and today I have with me my parents' dog Gracie. Today is the day, my friend. It is time to stop conforming to those around you and hiding who you really are. I know that you long for authenticity and acceptance and belonging, but my friend, you will not find any of those things if you continue to shy away from being yourself. You were meant for so much more. In this video, we are going to discuss 7 advantages of embracing your weird, how to even know who you really are, and then how to find the courage to be yourself. I'm gonna go get myself some hot chocolate. Gracie and I are gonna get all cozy again, and then we're gonna get real about how to bravely be yourself in a sea of same. Little kids are the most authentic people I know. They will confidently wear a Batman costume or some kind of crazy mismatched outfit. They'll dance their hearts out in public. They'll proudly show off their scribbles and creations without any feelings of embarrassment or shame. Little kids, they don't yet worry about trying to fit in or whether they're good enough. They just are simply themselves and enjoying the heck out of life. But unfortunately, at some point along the way, most of us, as CJ Casciotta describes it, had the weird kicked out of us. And he says this in his book, Get Weird. At some tragic point, you shared what was inside your imagination out loud with someone, and their response wasn't what you were expecting. They told you that it was weird, and they said it like it was a bad thing. They brushed it off, calling it idealistic and practical and foolish. And here's the crazy part. They were right. It was weird. It was foolish. And it was that way on purpose. Sure, there's an idealism that robs us of contentment and acceptance, but there's also an imagination that ignites change, innovation, and movement, especially when it comes to how we view and treat each other as human beings. We need weirdness to keep the world moving, to help solve its problems, to change our minds and rattle our hearts. More specifically, we need your weirdness. I hope that by the end of this video, you will feel inspired to work on embracing more of who you are, quirks and all, and that you would feel encouraged to let more of who you are shine through to others. Let's start by taking a look at 7 advantages of embracing your weird. First, I want to have you take a little look at how cute Gracie is. She's just sleeping. I also can't move my arm. She's so cozy. The first advantage of embracing your weird is feeling authentic and genuine. There's no more hiding, no more feeling like a fraud, no more wondering what other people will think of you if you show them who you really are. You'll know. I mean, for better or for worse, but at least you'll know. It feels really good and freeing to when you can just be your natural self. Those that I've met who are really good at this, who've learned to embrace more of who they are and just be themselves in any situation, it's like they have this extra joy about them. It's like who they are is so in sync with who they present themselves to be, and people are drawn to them because they're just so genuine and honest and real. It's a really beautiful thing. The second advantage of embracing your weird is true friendships. If you are hiding who you are, there's often this fear of, will they still like me if I am myself? But if you are being fully yourself, you'll know that your friends truly like you for you. Being genuine with people also builds trust and connection. CJ says in his book, This process of initiating me too, I'm with you, we're together in our weirdness, carries with it an unbelievable power to reconcile. It's a mending power, a bringing together magnetic force that takes people out of their isolation and into legitimate belonging. It's also a great way to make new friends by being honest about the things that you like, because then you can connect over similar interests, which brings us to our next point. Number 3, enjoy life more fully. When you embrace who you are, that means that you are free to like and enjoy what you like and enjoy. You let yourself feel and express the fullness of your emotions. There's no holding back or denying your interests, but rather allowing yourself to talk about them and enjoy them to the fullest. The 4th advantage is unique creativity. No two people are exactly alike. You have a certain personality, certain strengths and weaknesses, life experiences that all combined give you a very unique perspective that is valuable to this world. It can help you to solve problems or create something different and beautiful. Some of the most famous inventors, producers, artists, musicians throughout history were first ridiculed before they became popular. And now they are considered the greatest of all time because they were so different. The 5th advantage is stand out and succeed. Learning to embrace your weird and your unique creativity and unique perspective will help you to stand out from the competition. With so many people in the world, with businesses and blogs and books, you have to be different in order to catch people's attention and be heard. The 6th, she's on my arm, so I can only raise my hand this high. The 6th advantage is reach your full potential. When you try to be someone you're not, you hold yourself back from fully being able to use your gifts and quirks and abilities. As Judy Garland said, always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. Your best life comes from a growing acceptance of who you are. Also, the more you embrace who you are, the more you'll learn about yourself. And as I say so many times on my blog and my YouTube channel, the more you know yourself, the more you can grow yourself. The 7th advantage is inspire others. Embracing your own weird often inspires others to do the same. You taking those brave steps first gives others permission to be themselves with you, as well as encourages them to live more authentically with others. Honestly, I still have a long way to go in learning to embrace who I am more fully. But even in my little acts of trying to be brave and be myself, I've had quite a few people write to me saying that I inspired them to face a fear or show up as who they are too. If you feel like so many people around you are just conforming to the rest of the world, consider that maybe some of them are just waiting for someone to make that first bold move to be weird so that they can too. Sometimes this inspiration can even go far beyond your immediate circle. For example, trends, they're started by someone who is first weird and very untrendy until it caught on. And movements, they begin by someone first standing up against the status quo, and others are inspired to join them in the cause. In CJ's book, Get Weird, he says, a truly sustainable movement gathers people around something meaningful in order to create change. Every movement begins with an invitation to embrace something different, a unique point of view that stands in direct defiance of same. Before movements are remembered for being extraordinary, they're questioned for being weird. I need to take a bathroom break, but I feel really bad to move sweet Gracie. She's so cozy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to go to the bathroom. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so hopefully now you can see the benefits of embracing who you are. But what if you don't know who you are? Perhaps you've been conforming, trying to fit in, earn admiration, trying to live up to expectations of others for so long that you don't even know who you are anymore. Well, do not fear, my friend, because I am going to help you get started in discovering yourself again. So I'm going to give you a few ways to learn who you are. So, first of all, you need to spend time alone with your thoughts. Take some time away from other people, get off social media for a while, isolate yourself from the world. If you can take some time off of work and from your responsibilities to go on like a little mini retreat, then do so. That would be great. If you are unable to do that, that's okay, but maybe try spending at least an hour alone each night, whatever you can spare. Now, I know that this may be easier for some than others. I've met quite a few people who fear being alone with their thoughts, but it's the only way to really know what's going on deep inside of you, away from distractions, away from the noise, no people to mimic or react to or fear judgment from or to compare yourself to. Perhaps see a counselor if you're able to. They are a great resource in providing a safe, unbiased environment free of judgment for helping you to process and work through things. Or if you're unable to see a counselor, then perhaps start a diary to start journaling your thoughts. Regularly recording what you're thinking and feeling, asking yourself difficult questions, pondering what your opinions are on various subjects. Writing is a really helpful technique in knowing what's even going on up here and kind of sorting it out and seeing it in front of you. It also allows you to look back on your thoughts kind of from a distance. And this process can be very enlightening and catching a glimpse of what's going on inside of your mind. Secondly, I highly encourage you to learn more about how you're wired. Research personality types, take some quizzes to help you determine your own. Dive in deep to truly find out how your mind works. I have a personality category on my blog where I have a plethora of blog posts covering the basics of some common personality frameworks for beginners. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will put the link in the description down below for you. My journey of studying personality has really helped me to understand more about who I am, and I know many others who it's helped as well. Again, know yourself, grow yourself. The more that you learn about who you are, the more that you can grow as a person. My third tip for learning more about who you are is to experiment. I wrote a blog post on life lessons from Stranger Things season 3, and if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the description below. But this character Elle, she's talking to her friend Max at the mall, and she's asking like, how do I know what I like? And Max says, you just try things on until you find something that feels like you. And that's often what it takes to learn more about who you are, what you think about things, what you like or what you don't like. Try it. And I especially encourage you to try it while you're alone, where you're free of judgment of others that may sway your opinion one way or another. Next, I want to give you some questions to reflect on after you've done some experimenting. Number 1, what activities bring me joy and leave me feeling happy and energized? Number 2, what activities drain my energy and leave me feeling icky or exhausted? Number 3, if there was no fear of judgment, how would I enjoy spending my time? Number 4, if there was no fear of judgment, how would I spend my money? Number 5, if there was no fear of judgment, what kind of people would I like to hang out with? Number 6, if it was guaranteed I could succeed, what would I be doing with my life? So after you spend some time trying things out, experimenting, I highly encourage you to reflect on those questions. Okay, my friend, we are finally in the last section. We've learned 7 advantages of embracing your weird, the benefits of letting your inner weird shine through. And then we talked about some tips for even knowing who you are in the first place, because you can't really be yourself if you don't even know who you are, right? And now we are going to discuss how to find the courage to be yourself. So, first of all, you need to recognize where your fear is coming from. Many of these types of fears often come from caring too much about what other people think of you. Perhaps you want to avoid feelings of rejection or tension or resistance or judgment or ridicule. Maybe you fear that no one will like the real you and that you'll have no friends. You really just want to be liked and admired and respected and accepted. Perhaps you desire a certain status or success that you believe you can only achieve by conforming to a certain way of life, or maybe you just want to feel like you belong somewhere. But recognize where your fear is coming from so that you can get at the root of the problem. Next, you need to change your thoughts. If you care too much about what other people think about you, then ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Feelings of rejection or judgment are horrible. They feel really bad, but it's rarely life-threatening. It's also important to recognize what that rejection or judgment would mean to you, because it's actually not the rejection or judgment that make you feel negative feelings, but it's actually what you think about it. It's what you make it to mean. You may be shaking your head at me here, but think about this. Why are some people able to more easily bounce back from judgment or rejection? It's because they don't let their thoughts make it mean something horrible. They exchange lies such as, I'm not good enough, or they wouldn't be judging me, for truth such as, their thoughts do not affect my worth. Their judgment of me is their own problem. Perhaps you're thinking, okay, so what if I work on not letting their words and actions negatively affect me? It still doesn't change the fact that I won't have any friends because my authentic self is just too weird for them. I'd challenge you by saying, what's the alternative? Being liked for who you are not? If that's the case, then they don't really like you. They just like this false persona that you've created. The only way that you'll find true friends who like you for you is by being yourself. In Brene Brown's book, Daring Greatly, she says, true belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. My next tip for you is to acknowledge how you feel when you're out of sync. It probably doesn't feel so good when you know you are being someone that you're not, or that you're holding back parts of yourself from others, especially those that you care about most. It feels like your life is not in sync with your soul. Perhaps you're even feeling bad because you feel like you've been lying to people. You're also likely living in some kind of constant fear and anxiety, or else you would be confidently being yourself by now. And none of that is fun. I want you to lean into that pain, acknowledge how you feel when you're not living in sync with who you are. As people, we are often motivated by an avoidance of pain. And right now, you are not being yourself because the pain of what you think will cause judgment or rejection is far greater than the pain of not being yourself. So that's why I want you to lean in and acknowledge that pain of how it feels to be out of sync with who you really are, because that will help motivate you to make a change. On the flip side, I want you to imagine how you'd feel if you could fully be yourself. Just as avoidance of pain is one of the greatest motivators to us as humans, pleasure is another powerful motivator. We are driven to do what we think will make us happy or feel good. So I want you to pause with me for a moment, close your eyes, and imagine what it would be like if you could confidently and fully be yourself. How would it feel to be able to love and embrace who you are? I know I already asked in the previous section, but I really want you to pause and think about it right now. How would you live your life if you felt confident in who you are and the things that you know you have to offer this world? What career would you have? What hobbies would you be spending time on? How would it feel to be your authentic self in your relationships and to find belonging with close friends who truly love you for you? Don't you want that? So let that motivate you. My next tip for you in finding the courage to be yourself is to find fellow weirdos. If you've seen people that, those kinds of people that are just so genuine and confident in embracing who they are, then go talk to them. Go spend some time with them. Authenticity is so inspiring and it's often even contagious. When someone is first brave enough to embrace who they are, to be weird, to be themselves, it often makes other people around them think, maybe I can too. And so hang out with them, spend some time with them, and let their authenticity and courage rub off on you. Lastly, I want you to understand that it will likely take time. And I tell you this because it can be very discouraging when you're trying to be yourself more, but you keep falling back into old conforming habits, or maybe you even end up facing that judgment or rejection that you so feared. But remember that you won't likely be, the most confident, authentic, best version of yourself overnight. It will likely take practice and continued effort and perseverance, but little by little, if you continue to work at it, you will start to feel more like yourself and build your confidence. Also, keep in mind that you may face some bad before it gets good. If you've been living inauthentically for a long time, then some people may not react so well when you start to shift into being more of the real you. I'm not saying to expect the worst, but just recognize that it may not go well. Some friends may need time to adjust, and that's okay, but just remember that true friends will like you for you and appreciate you learning to live more authentically. And if they react poorly, then I'm sorry, but you need to get some new friends. But don't give up, because you will find your people. There is so much more to gain by being yourself than there is to lose. I promise you, my friend, that it will be worth it. The world doesn't need some lesser, disguised, conforming version of yourself. The world needs you being you. So embrace your weird, my friend. If you benefited from this video, it would mean so much to me if you gave it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this, and comment below so we can keep the conversation going. Tell me about something that you've been learning to embrace in yourself, or perhaps share a story of a time when you being yourself helped you to either make a friend or to inspire someone. Thank you so much for watching, my friend, and until next time, stay weird and keep it real.
Can I say goodbye, Gracie? Can I say goodbye? Goodbye! Thanks for watching!